Uh, I was just looking at some of the posts on social media. By the way, on this Monday, February 2nd, Groundhog Day. I'm Chris Allen, and this is 270 weather for the 270 area code and beyond. Anyway, as I was saying, you caught me on my phone here, just kind of looking at somebody going, get ready for Valentine's Day tornadoes. And I'm like, really? Really? We're going there. We're going there already? Are you, so I think what happened was somebody picked up on an old, it looked to me like an old Weather Channel kind of an outline. Red painted in. February. Highest risk areas for tornadoes in February. Then they had the red all painted in, and oh boy, it was scary looking. So all it takes is somebody doing something like that and then sharing it, and then another quote unquote weather person picks it up and they do their own map and say the same thing but in a different way. And then another person sees that weather person, and then they start spreading these different maps all over the place. And today, instead of talking about the system coming through tomorrow with a little bit of light rain or snow or ice mix, they've already moved past that. Now it's on to tornadoes on Valentine's Day, and it makes your heart go kerthump, kerthump, like Gomer Pyle would say. So it's already starting. More on that in just a moment. Here's a look at the current satellite picture here at 7:15 p.m. on this Groundhog Day, Monday, February 2nd. And you can see that as I thought might happen, because I said this earlier, if you were watching me this morning on either News 40 Sunrise or News 40 at 9 or News 40 at noon, I said, you know what? This is the kind of day, and the way it's looking is that it's going to take much of the day to clear the clouds out of here. And wouldn't you know it, right there. This is the cloud line. East of the cloud line, it's cloudy, of course. West of the cloud line, it is mainly clear. And now we're starting to see some high clouds moving in ahead of the next system that is going to come in for tomorrow. And it's like you just get rid of the clouds, and then here comes some more clouds. So yeah, we're going to cloud up overnight, and that's all because of what's coming in tomorrow. Let's check a few weather cams here. This is the HazCam, courtesy of the Grayson County Emergency Management Office there in Litchfield. There you can see things look pretty quiet, and they're pretty cloudy. Now, I also think it kind of looks like right there underneath the radio tower there, you see flashing. It looks like fog trying to develop. And here's another thing to watch out for tonight. With your temperature at 32 in Litchfield, and the winds are starting to calm down a bit, it's very possible that you could see some fog. And here's why. We've got warmer air that is coming in with the system coming in tomorrow. And that warmer air is going to go over the snowpack and the ice pack, snow and ice pack that's on the ground still. and not just Litchfield, but everywhere. We had some melting take place today, but it didn't get rid of all of it. But just because that warmer air is coming over the snow and ice pack, you could have fog. That's all it takes. And I think a lot of places will see fog tonight. And some of it could be freezing fog. That's not good. That's where we could wake up in the morning and have, some slick spots because of that. Here is the live view from Pikeville. 31 degrees. You can see the clouds there. That's old Ryan Hall's location over there in eastern Kentucky, if you did not know. Let's go east. Sorry, we were just east. Let's go west. And let's go to far western Kentucky, the community of Gage, and look. See, the skies are mainly clear, but yeah, you can see some stars here and there. But you can also see there are some very high, thin clouds moving in. Those would be cirrus clouds that are moving in, that I just showed you on the map back here to the west, that are moving already into western Kentucky. So it's just a matter of time. We're going to see the clouds come back, and then we'll have some precipitation for tomorrow. It is going to be that way. And it looks like, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I was gonna say, looks like mainly rain for us in southern Kentucky, but I'm not gonna give it all away right now because then you'd stop watching. But this is not going to be a long broadcast. There's just not a lot going on, so I'll keep it short. All right, here's a look at the Kentucky Mesonet Network. Current temperatures as of 7:19 p.m. You can see that it's 27 at the Corvette plant here in Bowling Green, but down the road at the Ag Expo Center, it's 32. A little bit of a temperature difference there. And then you go over to, this would be near Glasgow, about 11 miles west, so it's right around Bon Air in Barron County. 31, your temperature, Edmonton at 31. You've got 32 in Munfordville, 30 in Litchfield that we just saw. It is 30 in Morgantown. Oh, look. Litchfield just dropped another degree with that update. When you see this Mesonet map and it looks like it's flashing, and that's an update. That's when it does an update. 30 degrees over in Hartford. You've got 30 in Russellville, 30 in Franklin, 32, Scottsville, 31 down in Tompkinsville. Everybody in the mostly upper 20s to low 30s. How warm did we get today? Well, can you tell where the sun was out for a time today? This is a pop quiz now, hey, this is for everything. This is the final exam, if you will, and you get extra points, bonus points, if you can tell me on this map where it looks like the sun was out today. And I just made it kind of obvious. So, it's western Kentucky. They had highs in the 40s, which we were supposed to get here in Bowling Green and much of the 270, but we didn't because of the clouds, those stubborn clouds messing everything up. But you can see mainly 30s from about I-65 east, but I-65 west, it was all 40s. So they did make it up that warm, and probably had a little more melting of the ice and snow than we did here in south, central, and eastern Kentucky. Low temperatures for the day. Of course, we had a mainly clear sky to start this morning. And so that's why our temperatures here were colder. Teens, mid to upper teens, and even low 20s. But then you go west and you had warmer mid to upper 20s, and that's because of cloud cover. It just flip flopped. That's all it did. We just flip flopped on the cloud cover from morning to evening. No rainfall anywhere, no snowfall anywhere. Everything's pretty quiet on that note. Winds are coming out of the south, and that helped us warm up to an official high today at the Bowling Green Airport. Let me see, let me get the right thing. 36. 36 was the official high temperature here at the airport where I live. 12 degrees colder than the normal of 48. It keeps going up. The average daily high temperature keeps going up, and it's now at 48. Only a week or a week and a half ago, it was 46, and it was stuck on 46 as we went through pretty much all of December. That's as low as it gets. Then when we get into January, February, it starts ticking up just a bit because the days start to get longer, and therefore the average daily high stair steps up, and now it's 48. We had a low of 25 officially here at the airport and a high of 36. So that south wind did help us today. Even though we were under that canopy of clouds, we had enough of a south wind that it helped the melting process, which was nice. But now everything's going to refreeze as we get into tonight because we're expecting to go back down into the, upper 20s tonight. Yeah, here comes the next Clipper system. You can see it here running into the Great Lakes and upper Midwest. We also have a little system out here, Texas and the Panhandle, Oklahoma into Kansas. High pressure is really, really high pressure was what gave us the kind of day we had today where it was mainly dry, but then we just had leftover clouds thanks to leftover moisture up about 15,000, 18,000 feet, maybe not even that high. And because of the snow and ice pack, we had a little bit of warmer air come in with the southerly wind, and that made for, just made it really hard to get the clouds out of here is what I'm trying to say. Okay, here we go. Here's high pressure over the area tonight. Tonight should be quiet. Clouds on the increase. We get into midnight. We see some fog. And yeah, it's a possibility that some of us, especially north of Bowling Green, as you see here up to about E-Town and across the Ohio River, it's just kind of in this area. We could see patchy fog. And because temperatures will be running in the upper 20s and maybe low 30s, close to freezing or below freezing, then yes, some of that could be freezing fog late tonight and early tomorrow morning. So keep that in mind. Now here's our warm front. Look at this. Southwesterly flow here. Warm front moves in. This is throwing that warm air over the snowpack, and that's helping form that fog. Here we go into 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. I think most of us will be dry. Now, this is showing some moisture in the form of light snow, maybe with some sleet. But here's the thing that I'm a little bit at odds over, and I'm not the only one. But as the moisture starts to move in tomorrow, warm front coming through, definitely warm over southern Kentucky, or warmer, and the temperature is actually going to start to go up in the morning. And because of that, I think we're going to not see that much in the way of precipitation and the dew points. The dew points will still be very dry in wake of that high pressure. So I'm going with this doesn't happen. It may show up on radar like there's something going on, but in the morning when you get up to go to work and whichever kids are going to go back to school, I don't know who. I mean, we'll keep up with that and let you know, but you already know if they're going or not. This is 2026, ladies and gentlemen. I do not have to wait for superintendents to call me and say, here's my secret code and we're closed tomorrow. Thank the Lord that doesn't happen anymore. And I don't have to take those phone calls anymore because it was just, well, before the technology came out with pushing alerts to you on your phone through the school systems, I had to take every single phone call from the superintendents and the transportation directors in every community, private schools, independent schools, county schools, city schools, for like 18 county region, and still have to try to do the weather. And they were always calling. And then some of them would call and say, Chris, what do you think? Is it going to be, what do you think I should do? And I'm like, nope, I'm not going there. Nope, 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 nope. I just would not ever. You can ask some of the people that have been superintendents or transportation directors. Some of them have retired, but you could ask them and they would tell you the same thing. I never would say, here's what you should do. And it probably made some of them mad, but it's like, no, that's not my decision to make. Whether school is open or not, that's on you. That's why you get paid the big bucks, Mr. Superintendent. It didn't go that bad. But anyway, I think because of this setup with the warm front across southern Kentucky, the moisture coming in with this system over the Great Lakes, radar, I think, may pick up on some of this in the morning, but I don't think it's going to hit the ground because dew points are going to be too dry. I think it's just going to be too dry. So we'll have one of those situations where the moisture starts to come down. And then because of the very dry air where we are at the ground level, then most of it won't make it to the ground. So that's primarily why I'm not so caught up on, is it going to be snow? Is it going to be ice? Is it going to be sleet? Is it going to be freezing rain? You know, that some of these, well, just look around, doom scroll, and you'll see, oh, we got to watch this very closely. We don't. Not this one. All right, here it comes. Here's our low pressure system over the Boot Hill in Missouri, meeting up with that Great Lakes moisture. And you see here, by noontime tomorrow, plenty of established warm air. Temperatures will be, in some cases, around 40 or even up to the mid 40s. And it's going to be rain. It's going to be rain. North of the Ohio River, as you see it right there, I think that's where it goes from rain to snow. Now they've got all these other colors in here, but this is going to be a setup where it's just going to be either or, rain or snow, and not the mixy, wintry stuff in between. Let's go to 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. The low pressure system scoots right across the Missouri Boot Hill into western Kentucky and then right over central Kentucky by that time. And most of this will remain rain. Now, as usual, on the backside of a low pressure system, because the winds go counterclockwise. It's going to draw in just a little bit of cold air behind it. And some places like Campbellsville, E-Town, maybe up to, oh gosh, let's see, zoom in here. Campbellsville over to Crab Orchard, if you know where that is. Some of those locations may get a little mix as it scoots by tomorrow evening. But if you do get something frozen, it's not going to be very much. And then this is 6 a.m. Wednesday morning, a little leftover flurry or two. But I really don't think it's going to be much more than that. Things will begin to dry out as we head into Wednesday evening, nothing going on. Thursday morning, nothing going on. Friday, look, here comes another warm front. Now, this is something to take note of. The trend I am seeing, and if you look at the Weather Prediction Center, WPC, long range maps, they're going to show a trend pushing the cold away to the east and warmer air or above normal temperatures coming in from the west. And I keep seeing that trend over and over, which is good. We can get rid of the rain and snow, or the snow and ice that's just sitting around waiting for the next one. I shouldn't have said that. There's not really a next one. Okay. So here we go into Saturday morning. Pretty quiet. Sunday, there's a front, but it's quiet. And Monday. I mean, this may be one of the longest stretches of very quiet weather that we have seen in a long time. The trend for precipitation from the Weather Prediction Center, WPC, is also drier than normal. So we're going to be warmer and drier than normal once we get these little leftover systems out of the way. So here's a look at the European, which is showing here's the remnants of the trough moving out as we head into this evening and during the day tomorrow. Now, it's not really all that bullish on the system tomorrow, although you can see it here showing that same dividing. Look, remember what I always say. Look at this. And I pointed this out, I think, last night. I do this hand gesture because this is where we live. We're always on the dividing line, always on the fence. Maybe not always, but a lot of the time, we're right here. Is it going to be too warm to snow, or is the rain going to be cold enough to change over to snow, and we're going to be right there? So I think the European model is, again, pretty much on target with what we're going to see. Now, it's showing a round of this stuff in the morning, and then a second wave as we get into the afternoon and evening. On the backside, you can see there might be a little changeover here, but the majority, and I'll back it up, the majority of what falls over southern Kentucky is going to be rain. So my forecast is pretty much rain, unless you get north, say north of the parkways, Western Kentucky bluegrass parkways. If you live north of that, you're likely to get snow. South of the parkways, I think it's going to be mainly rain. So let's get through tomorrow evening. That goes away pretty quickly. Then we go on into Wednesday, and this is kind of a little unique feature here, where That system goes east of us, but then it starts to get hung up. The jet running right there along with the rain snow line. And then you get a push from high pressure that's out in the Atlantic. And so the low pressure system starts to see it here. You can watch it go over the Appalachian Mountains, Smokies specifically, and see how it kind of just sits there and then it kind of backs up, then it goes forward, then it backs up and goes forward. Yeah, it's a little bit of a hang up there. And that throws on the northeast side of the low pressure system, it tries to throw some of this moisture back into the cold air, but this is mostly Smoky Mountains. So up in Gatlinburg, Sevierville, Cherokee, some of those places, and into parts of Virginia, the far western part of Virginia, there could be some light snow there for, say, Wednesday night. But it doesn't come this far west. Here we go into Thursday. Pretty quiet, but look at the trough here. Now we are on Thursday going to be chilly in the 30s and lows in the 20s. Now after Wednesday night, we're actually going to be in the teens for overnight lows. Talking about 15, 16, 17. And this is what you're seeing here. But then we start to make some recovery out west, and look at the big ridge wall. This is all warm air. And look at that, 1,042 millibar. That's pretty stout. Pretty stout for a high pressure. So all of that will start to push east. This is the warmer air that's going to knock out the cold that's sitting here. So we go from Thursday into Friday, and oh, come on. Let me go back, load up the last run, because it's still loading the current run of the model. And now we go and just watch. Here we go into Friday. Still kind of on the line, but look at this. Look at this. Now, this is interesting. Friday, at least the European model, picks up on the possibility of snow showers in parts of central and eastern Kentucky, because there's your rain snow line. But I think we'll check this tomorrow. And probably what it's going to show is the warmer air is going to win out with this, because this is all retreating to the north and east, and it's just trying to pick up on some of that Great Lakes moisture, those lake effect snows, trying to push some of that this far south. But I just don't see it really happening. But we'll check here tomorrow and see what it's looking like. So southern Kentucky won't get any of that. And look at that dividing line. It just wants to sit right over us and straddle the fence. Geez, we haven't seen that before. Huh. Yeah. So here we go. Look at that. Another one passes by, and that line just sits there. Sits there. This is into Saturday and Sunday. Finally, now look at how far north the warm air tries to build right in the center part of the country, and finally it pushes that rain snow line further north and east away from us. And this is Sunday night into Monday. We're talking about highs approaching 50 degrees maybe. Let's keep going. Let's go into next Monday, a week from today. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Look at this right here. Oh boy. Now the winds are going to be primarily from the south. Yep. And, that does tend to open up the Gulf and send moisture our way. So as we head into next week, look at this, a little bit of rain. Yep. You get on the backside of a high pressure, and high pressure is like this, clockwise. So what happens is with the stream of moisture opening up from the Gulf, this is pretty easy to figure out. It looks like we're going to have some rain chances. This is Tuesday, next week, the 10th. Usually I don't like to go out that far, but I do want to show you this, and there's a reason. There's a reason. Here's Wednesday the 11th, and here we go into the 12th, next Thursday, and then look at this. Now, this is some of what those guys I mentioned right off the beginning of this podcast tonight are looking at. They're rubbing their hands together. Ooh, look. We can have tornadoes. Ooh. I want to be the first one to post a graphic to social media so I can get all the credit, and people I'm the first one to talk about tornadoes on Valentine's Day. Woohoo! And then if it happens, I will be a hero for warning everybody first. Well, la-dee-da. Who cares? Good Lord. Yeah, thanks for scaring people for no reason. For no reason right now is what I'm trying to say. Jeez. All right. Here's a look at the weather blender, model blender. 44 tomorrow? Well, let's hope so. I think we could get there even with clouds and even with rain, because I showed you that warm front coming through. But then we cool back down into the low to mid 30s for Wednesday, Thursday. But then look at the recovery afterwards. There's that 50 I was talking about, 51 on Friday. Then back into the 40s. But here's the thing that I'm noticing that I have not noticed in weeks. When we have this little bit of a cool down, we warm up for a day and then cool back down. And that happens here as we head into the weekend. But then look, consistency that I have not seen before. Look at this, mid to upper 40s and then mid to upper 50s. Wow. Now that'll be nice. And look at this. Lows going away from the teens, which they have been, excuse me, teens and single digits of late. But I only see one out of the next 10 days, and that's that 17 that's going to be on Wednesday night into early Thursday. Then we see a lot of 20s for overnight lows, but then, look at this. 32 to 42 at night next Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, this doesn't show the 14th, which is Valentine's Day. This only goes out 10 days from now, which 10 days from now would be Friday. Friday the 13th? We have a Friday the 13th in February? Wow. A Friday the 13th? We have a Friday the 13th. Everybody be afraid. And if that doesn't spook you, the threat of tornadoes on Valentine's Day. Scary stuff. Be aware. It can happen. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, but this far out, these guys, I tell you. Well, I'm telling you also that, because of the winter weather, and I'm going to get to your comments in just a moment. Because of the winter weather, we just had the big winter storm and the threat of maybe severe weather this month, maybe in a couple of weeks around Valentine's Day. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but here's the thing to keep in mind: severe weather can happen anytime, and it's possible any time of the year in all types and forms. The best way to stay prepared is to have yourself one of those bad boys, a Generac generator. I can't tell you how many people have talked to R&R Controls and have said they've either gotten two kinds of phone calls. One, thank you for the generator. It actually worked, and it worked perfectly during the winter storm. Or the second batch of phone calls has been about, hey, R&R Controls, can you come out and take a look and see how big of a generator I need, because I want to get one. And because I can't really pay for all of it up front, can we talk about financing? And they'll say, can we talk about financing? We got you. Hey, this is how easy it is. And before the next batch of severe weather, whether it be winter weather or spring, summer like weather, storms and tornadoes and things like that, you need to call R&R Controls and just go ahead and set up an appointment. They'll come out and do a free consultation. They'll take a look at your house, the square footage, they'll see your needs, and they'll tell you how big of a generator you need. And then when you get one, you'll hook it up to your house. Like that guy standing there with his thumb up, he's happy because his Generac generator is hooked up to his house. So that within seconds of the power going off, that Generac generator switches on. And they make them for businesses too, big ones. We have one at News 40, right out in our parking lot, a Generac generator. And so when the power goes off, within about, I think it's about 5 seconds, 5 or 6 seconds, that generator kicks on. And we just keep going. It works. 270-777-2024, the number to call, or you can go to their website, rnrhvac.com, because with R&R Controls, you will never be without. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, let's get to your comments here. And we do have a pretty good list of you here this evening. And some of these I haven't read yet. Greg says, if anyone needs to be scared, it's these stupid ones because they are scared of the truth and the accuracy you deliver in your podcast. Well, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. There is some truth in that. I think there is some truth in the hype. Some of the hype may be from fear. Maybe they need to be delivered from the spirit of fear. Who knows? Yeah. Here's Frida. Be glad to see and feel warmer weather. Thank you, Chris. You're welcome. Anthony. Kids have school tomorrow. Are you asking or telling? Is there going to be school tomorrow? I always like to do that because it's the good old days when we had to take the phone calls from everybody. Can you tell me if blah, blah, blah is going to have school tomorrow? So, Anthony, are you telling me or are you asking? Because I don't know. I don't know the answer. Go to WNKY.com. We have school closings there. If there's going to be any tomorrow, that's where you'll see them. All right. Let's see. Watching, Todd. Don't be jealous. You can too. I'm not sure I understand what that means. It's cryptic. Um, let's see. Gwendy, I am 270. You know what, Gwendy? You may have just stumbled upon something here that you don't realize that you've stumbled upon and given me a great idea. I am 270. I need to get some shirts. Can we get some shirts made? Or a hat? Can we get hats? Like this hat that I got on the Alaska cruise that says "Damn weather." The Alaska cruise that I took earlier this year, I went into one of the gift shops and this was staring me in the face. And it was the last one. And I said, I don't care how much it cost, I'm getting it. Damn weather. And for those of you who are going to get on the socials and go, Chris Allen cussed. Oh, Lord. God knows how much I've cussed, and it's been a lot. But anyway, you have to understand that Holland America, those cruise ships, every one of them is called something dam. SS Volendam, SS something else dam. I don't know why, and so they made a hat that says damn weather. Because, well, okay, so you get it. But I am 270. We'll get that put on hats and shirts and stuff. Sell it. Make some money. No, I'm not going there. But thank you, Gwendy. That's a great idea, by the way. Here's Debbie. Bring on this. Debbie, I think you're going to have an unpopular following for that one, or people agreeing with you, because I think people are pretty much over it. Yes, like Anissa. No, thank you. Don't feel like what I have right now is going to melt. It gets slicker every day. I know it seems that way. It does seem like it's getting slicker. Here's Amy in Muhlenberg County that's watching. Here's Austin asking, more snow in our future? If you live further north, like up toward Cincinnati, yes. Otherwise, probably not. Not for a while. Here, yeah, Anissa back here. I think this was her first comment. Thanks for keeping us updated. We'll be so glad when all the snow melts. Watching from Horse Cave. And then here's Twyla. Dang groundhog. Yeah. You were being nice while being, you know, pointed in your comment. Dang groundhog. Yeah, I agree because he said 6 more weeks of winter. I'm not sure I buy that. Here is Chris Purdue viewing from Scottsville. Thank you. Let's see. Rosie is watching from Edmonson County. Michael, may I ask a question? Water stream still or not? Michael, I know Michael. But Michael, I'm trying to figure out what you're asking. Water stream still or not? You need to, I'm sorry, you need to explain a little bit better what that means. Here's David, who's having, who's having groundhog for dinner? You know what? I saw some memes on social media this afternoon where people were like, they were telling him to get into the frying pan and all of that. That yes, I think there's a lot of people who are like, I know what's for supper. Groundhog. It's mighty good, them groundhog. I like to have it with French fried potatoes. Carolyn, sorry, Carolyn watching from Rosie. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let me see. Just get a few more in here. Kathy, do the faucets need to drip? We're not going to get that cold tonight. I mean, we're going to get down into the upper 20s. But actually, the trend is going to be warmer, so I don't think you'll need to do that. We're not going to get down into the single digits any longer than, well, I don't see that for the next week. So you should be okay. Here's Joyce watching in summer shade. Here is, all right, this is another friend of mine, Janine Cherry. Is European model from a different satellite, or I thought you were going to ask something else like, yes, Chris, I bet you like the European models. Yeah, that's an old weather joke. Yeah. So the European model, it actually comes from a combination derived from different sources, but most of it does come from either satellite derived or there's the newer models from the European side of things that are even AI generated. Yes, AI generated models are happening. Both the kind of models that you think and these kind of models, the weather models. AI is just penetrating everything. And so some say the newer AI European model is pretty darn accurate. I'm still a little skeptical about that, but we'll see. We'll see. The proof is, you know, actual weather, and we'll see. Did this verify? So we got to see if it verifies before we, really buy into it. But some swear up and down that it's much better than even the original sourced European model. So yeah, that's happening. Rosa watching from Horse Branch. Thank you very much. Here is Margaret watching from Burkesville. Thank you, Margaret. And let's see who else here. So we asked. Okay, I think we got most of your questions. All right. So anyway, that's it for a Monday evening. I went 48 minutes. Golly, the time just gets by me. It's like I never thought I would talk this long. I just never, ever. And on top of that, I never thought that people would sit and listen to me talk that long. Good Lord. Because I don't fancy myself as an orator. Maybe I could be, because I'm just used to little 2 or 3 minute segments on TV. But now that we have social media, now that I can do a podcast and I can talk as long as I can, and I don't have to watch a clock, it just happens. It's organic. All right. Thank you guys for watching 270 Weather. I'll see you in the morning. News 40 sunrise at 6 a.m., News 40 at 9, and News 40 at noon. I'll see you then, and God bless.